All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining today's webinar on Digital Marketing Holiday Playbook and the year-end transition for auto dealers. Can I have you stay for about 20-25 minutes, have some great content to walk through with you, a couple housekeeping items. Feel free as I'm going through the webinar today, drop any questions you have in the Q&A. We'll be sure to answer any of them at the end of the webinar. First, we'll do a couple of introductions just of myself and of Adpearance here. My name is Calvin Mesman. I'm the Senior Director of Solutions at Adpearance. I live in Portland, Oregon. Been at Adpearance for about 11 years and have been very close to digital advertising over the course of those 11 years. It's very, very near and dear to my heart. So extremely excited to be able to talk through some of these strategies with you today. As I said in the introductions, we're going to go through who is Adpearance. We'll talk about digital advertising during the holiday season and some of the things that you can deploy across your search, display, social, and video strategies to be successful. And then we'll talk about some year-end model transitions as well. So Adpearance, we are a digital marketing company that's obsessed with your performance. We have three key differentiators that I always like to talk about, is that we focus our advertising efforts from the very initial search all the way through to the final sale. We are not big into some of the vanity marketing metrics. We really want to hone in on the number of leads that we're driving for you, phone calls, form submissions, and chats. And we want to work back every bit of our advertising efforts to try to understand what is driving phone calls, form submissions, and chats for you at the highest volume and at the lowest cost. Another differentiator about us is that we provide a personalized service. Every client that we work with has an assigned strategist, and they'll know your dealership in and out. They'll know your advertising campaigns in and out. We're always just one touch point away. No ticketing system, no general support line. Very personalized service that you always know that your strategist is going to be there to help you. And then last but not least, we build a lot of in-house proprietary technology to help our auto dealers scale and to drive net additional performance. For a number of you on the line have heard about 4Eyes before. That was an original Adpearance invention. Now its own standalone company that operates all on its own. But we're constantly testing, A/B testing about $250,000 a month, whether that be new smart bidding strategies, whether that be A/B testing some creative, or anything in between. And so we're always looking to push the envelope and always looking to drive the maximum performance for you. We are a certified provider in a number of different programs. If you see your OEM here, know that we are a full certified partner. If you don't see your nameplate here, don't worry. We work with dozens of OEMs that we're not a certified provider for. Always ensure that we're compliant, help you with co-op submissions and anything in between. So full service across the entire auto space, but definitely if you are one of these nameplates here, know that we're a certified provider in your program. All right, so let's jump into some of the digital advertising holiday recommendations. First, I want to talk about why are we here. And the reason for it is that over the holidays, as we come into November, we come into Black Friday, and even as we come into Christmas and New Year, there is a pretty significant spike in search activity. Users know, potential shoppers know that there's going to be Black Friday deals. They know that there might be end of year deals that are happening right before we close out the end of December. And so you can see here in some of this data that's been provided from Google is that the green line here is our average daily searches that are taking place nationwide. There is definitely a massive spike as we come on to Black Friday of search volume, and there's also a spike during Christmas and New Year. And what we see is that there's an incremental 9 million searches that are taking place around people that are looking for deals, offers, and incentives. So that might be something of just as simple as Honda Civic deals, or it might be something like Black Friday car deals near me. There's a bunch of different ways in which users are going to search, but we know that they know that there's going to be incentives and offers that are happening during this time. We also see, and I think a little bit more importantly, is that there's an incremental 50 million searches around people that are searching for dealers and dealer locations. So that's going to be a combination of people who know that there are offers and incentives and are just jumping straight to searching for Jeep dealer near me, or it might be people that are buying cars for the holidays, right? Buying a car for their loved one for Christmas. But there's definitely a significant increase in search volume. And so we want to make sure that during the holidays, you can, one, capture as much of that as possible, and two, set yourself apart from the competition, because there's going to be a lot of activity, a lot of sales, a lot of advertising going on during this time. And so you want to differentiate yourself from all of the other dealers in your market. Put together some recommendations for you, and it's here in checklist format. And we wanted to do it in this style because after this webinar, we're going to send this out to you, and hopefully you can take this and start to check off these boxes as you're gearing up for the holiday sales season. So put together some simple blocking and tackling, some more advanced tactics that we can deploy, and also some much more aggressive if you're really looking to dominate your market. So we'll start over on the simple side, and the easiest thing that we can do is update ad copy with seasonal language. Let folks know that there's a Black Friday sales event. Let people know that there's a Big Finish sales event. Whatever event that you have that's running, you just want to call that out and make that known. The next thing that we can do is make sure that we're adding in holiday-specific keywords into our advertising campaigns. And so we know that there are going to be folks who are going to Google, going to Bing, and searching for things like Black Friday holiday deals. And so we want to make sure that we are, I should say Black Friday holiday car deals. We don't want to advertise so broadly, but definitely anybody who's searching for holiday-specific keywords as they relate to auto, we want to show ads for. Next, we want to make sure that our ad copy is featuring your current pricing, your current availability, and any incentives that you have. This is going to be really, really important because you might have some deals that are really compelling, better than the guy down the street, or even better in your whole entire metro. You want to make sure that right out of the gate, when a user is searching in Google, that you're showing them what your current prices are, how many of those units you have in stock, and any of the special incentives that you have going on. I know that for the longest time, availability has been so scarce, and inventory has been, inventory figures have been very, very low across all dealers. We are starting to see now that inventory is slowly starting to come back, and you may have many more units available than your competition down the street. So make that known. Get people to come into your actual physical location and check them out. And the last item on the list here in our simple tactics is to ensure that you're using a smart bidding strategy. If you're not using a smart bidding strategy today, I'm going to say that you're behind. Smart bidding's been around for a number of years. There was a lot of testing that took place with it. And I think that for the most part, all providers, including Adpearance, over the last year and a half, have transitioned to a full smart bidding strategy. So if you've heard it and you don't think that you're on it, definitely talk to your provider, talk to Adpearance, and we'll help get you set up in the new smart bidding strategies that need to be deployed. Under our advanced tactics, you can consider expanding your geo-targeting to reach into some new markets. So your standard annual always-on geo maybe is something like 10 or 15 miles. But if you have a really aggressive pricing and you have more availability than others, you might want to reach your footprint out to 20, 25, or 30. And just for a short time, just to make sure that you're reaching any of those incremental net new customers that are out there. You can also invest more, right? And so we know that some of the game is pay to play, right? You put forth a budget, you're going to get X number of users to come to your website and to convert. The more that you enter, the more dollars you enter into the market, the more users you're going to get. And so when we saw that there's an incremental 50 million dealer term searches and 9 million incentive searches, we know that there's going to be more opportunity. And so you can capitalize on that with a larger budget during the holiday season. And last but not least, in our advanced tactics, we want to make sure that we're not sleeping on Bing. I know that a vast majority of advertising dollars are flowing through platforms like Google, and that's where the majority of the customers are, and that's where the search volume is. But Bing is very valuable in that for a few reasons. In that, one, there are your customers. Your customers are on Bing. You have some people who go to Costco and buy a laptop. Maybe they're not super tech savvy. They come home, they use the Internet Explorer on their laptop, and their native search engine is Bing. They haven't changed it to Google, and they always use Bing. And they are a prime customer who's potentially ready to come in and buy a car from you. We also know that cost per clicks in Bing are generally much less expensive than they are in Google. And so if you're really looking to capitalize and take advantage of additional sales during the holiday season, stepping into another network like Bing can likely be the difference for you. And then when we talk about aggressive, we want to make sure that we're featuring Google vehicle ads. I'm sure you've heard about it. There's been a ton of buzz about it over the course of the last 9 months or so. Vehicle ads are very visual. You get to see the vehicle right in front of your face. You get to see exactly the pricing, how far away it is, how many miles it has. And so when people are ready to take action right now, vehicle ads can be a great option to show the inventory that you have and get them to click on your listing and go directly to your VDP. One thing I want to call out here is that if you are currently using another provider and you've been struggling to get vehicle ads up, I know there's been some bumps in the road. I invite you to have a conversation with us. We can make the process very seamless, very easy for you. Have a couple of relationships with Google and a couple of technology components that we've built internally that help get us up to speed on vehicle ads very quickly. The last items here is consider expanding your geographical reach even beyond your standard market. So you might be able to reach into markets that are neighboring markets and start to bring in some incremental traffic. Generally, people, maybe they don't want to travel 60 to 80 miles to go on a test drive on a Saturday. But during the holiday season, if they are really interested in buying, they're going to be interested in driving that extra way if they can save a couple $1,000s. So if you feel that you're being very aggressive in your entire region, consider expanding outside of it just for a short time over this holiday period, and you can likely get some incremental traffic and some incremental sales into your dealership. And last but not least is that if there is a particular model, maybe you have a lot of availability or maybe the pricing is really aggressive, consider breaking it off and dedicating its own budget. Generally we combine our budgets into all models and we're spending where the demand is. But if you're really trying to push one of them, let's dedicate a certain budget amount to it and develop a specific strategy for that model. And that can include things like conquesting. So we know that conquesting, going after competitive nameplates, can be expensive. It's not an extremely high converting campaign type, but if you're looking to do the full gamut of everything you can do in the search landscape, conquesting is definitely something you're going to want to layer in. When we jump over to our display recommendations, the name of the game here is capitalizing on high quality creative. So in our simple tactics, updating your creative to send that message out that you have a holiday sales or the Black Friday sales event or whatever it may be. People are going to be searching people are going to be on the internet. They're going to be browsing around. They're going to see a lot of Black Friday, a lot of sales event creative. And they're going to be, I think, a little bit more hyper aware to it and clicking on ads and seeing what are the deals. So if you have deals, let people know and get that holiday theme or that Black Friday sales event theme ad in front of them. Another simple tactic is for us to leverage remarketing. We know that every day there are hundreds, if not thousands of people come into your website, and not all of them are going to convert. And so during this time, it's very important for us to be remarketing to them, to be serving creative to them after they've visited your website. Maybe they're going to a competitor website or a few competitor websites. We want to make sure that we're keeping you top of mind and we're bringing them back to your site and not losing them out to the competition. And so prioritize your remarketing campaigns and re-engage those customers who have already made it pretty far down the funnel. So the more advanced tactic here is capitalizing on some inventory specific advertising. So instead of just running some standard static Black Friday creative, you can actually feature your actual inventory in your ads. And this is extremely valuable, not only for the remarketing customers. When there was that one prospect who is looking at that red Jeep Wrangler, we're going to show that red Jeep Wrangler to them again as they're browsing the internet. But we can also reach out and target in-market customers, people that we know are interested in buying a Jeep or buying an SUV. We could start to feature your actual inventory in the ad. And so it's a great way for us to show show a prospect what inventory you have, what your pricing is, get them to visually see the vehicle, engage with the ad, and go to a VDP. You could step out a little bit further and supplement your display targeting, your remarketing, and your in-market with some custom intent audiences. And these are folks that have been online, maybe searching for holiday car deals. Maybe they've been searching for a Honda Civic that they're looking to buy, but have not yet been to your website. And so we can start to target them, introduce them to your brand, introduce them to your inventory, and get them to consider you instead of the other dealers that they've been looking at. And so we can expand our reach much further than just our remarketing and get people that we know that are actively shopping and bring them to your website. When we move into our aggressive tactics, there are some new placements that are available, things like Google discovery campaigns. And these are relatively new and not widely used by a number of folks. But the name of the game right now is getting your message, your ads, your inventory out to everybody as often as possible. And so you can expand into some of these new networks. Discovery ads reach out into Gmail, they reach out into YouTube, they reach out into the Discover platform if you're an Android user. And so this is a really inexpensive way to generate net new impressions, net new traffic, and potentially net new sales. This is also a good time to advertise on some managed placements. So there might be some high value auto blogs or local news sites or weather stations that we know people are going to be visiting during the holidays. And here is where you can, this is the ultimate branding effort, but you're able to get your message out to customers who maybe aren't even in market right now. But if you show them a good enough price, a good enough incentive, that you can actually convert them into considering purchasing a new vehicle during the holiday season. There may be a lot of folks who have heard, cars are very expensive right now. I'm gonna hold off. I'm not gonna buy, and so they're not actually in market. But serving them when they're checking out the weather before they go on their holiday trip, serving them that creative, that might change their mind. Lastly, is that we can leverage customer match audiences. So these are going to be your past customers, people who have purchased from you maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years ago, people that have a lease that is getting ready to expire. This is a great way to serve creative to them, especially expiring lessees. You know that maybe during this holiday season, you got a whole subset of people that purchased 3 years ago that need to come in, either return their car or purchase a new one. We can target them specifically with special creative and special messaging. And then last but not least, we can leverage lookalike audiences. And so every customer that comes to your website has a demographic profile. They're a certain age, they're a certain income, they've done certain things online before that fit them into a profile that is an auto shopper. We can leverage that information and go reach net new audiences. So we can go get other folks who have maybe the same age, the same income, and the same online behaviors, who have never been exposed to your website before, who have never purchased from you before. And so if we're really looking to be aggressive across the entire ecosystem, these last few audiences that we can reach really will expand your coverage beyond what you've historically done. When we step into video, I'm not going to go through every single one of these here because video is very similar to display, where we're recommending on the simple that we are engaging the remarketing audiences. We're making sure that our video is featuring Black Friday sales events or holiday themed. We have the ability to feature that real-time pricing and inventory in the video creative. I think there are a couple of other providers out in the space that are doing the same thing. But if you have an interest of bringing your inventory counts, your lowest price, your amount of savings off MSRP into the video creative and having it dynamically change as your inventory changes and as your pricing changes, let's have a conversation. This is a relatively new technology and something that we've seen has been very impactful over the last year or so. And we can reach out to those same audiences that we were talking about before, those lookalikes, those customer matches. And then here on this last one on the aggressive is that we can expand our reach beyond something like YouTube. A lot of us have been very used to advertising on YouTube over all of the years. But as more and more customers are canceling their cable subscription, they're cutting the cord, they're getting rid of their traditional broadcast TV. connected TV has grown exponentially. There are millions of customers, millions of users who are switching every single year, and now just leveraging things like Hulu or going directly to apps like the AMC and Discovery, or engaging on some free content like Tubi, and subscribing to things like Sling, and so we know, all of those kind of buzzwords that I just talked about. You probably are doing it yourself, or somebody who is, and so we can reach all of those audiences at a much more impactful, much more powerful than traditional broadcast TV. Whereas broadcast TV in the past was served to the masses, served to anybody and everybody. Maybe it serves that 12-year-old who is not ready to buy a car. Maybe it just serves to the guy who just bought a car yesterday. But in the world of connected TV, we can get very surgical, target users that we know are in market and ready to buy, and be much more efficient with your budget, especially during the holiday season. So when we jump over into our social tactics, here, very similar in that we recommend updating the creative, let them know you have that Black Friday sales event, engaging your remarketing customers. You saw that we're recommending engaging your remarketing customers across every tactic. And the reason for that is we know they're going to be everywhere. They're going to be on Facebook. They're going to be watching YouTube. They're going to be watching connected TV. They're going to be going to Google and searching. And so anywhere and everywhere they are, we want to try to re-engage them as much as we can. There's something that's relatively new in the market. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the buzz about it, is TikTok. TikTok is a new avenue that millions of folks every single month are subscribing to TikTok. And it's a great grounds to build your brand and to advertise any incentives that you have. What we're recommending is that out of the gate, in order to be effective on TikTok, is just create yourself a profile, start posting organically. You probably see some videos of folks at auto dealerships, and maybe there's a sales guy that is doing something funny or dancing, or maybe there's a walk around of a new vehicle, showing some of the new infotainment system inside, detailing some of the cargo space in the back. The videos can be very simple, and the more organic they are, the more effective they are. And so if you think of traditional tier 1 creative, very polished, very professional, high quality imagery, high quality sound and video production. In TikTok, it's almost the opposite of that. A much more organic, user-driven style is what is effective. And so we recommend to develop your TikTok channel, start posting organically, follow other folks that are in your community, tag your videos, and you'll grow that followership. And eventually what you'll be ready to do is to step in and start advertising some of that creative. And when you advertise it, there's 2 strategies that you can deploy. You can deploy a strategy that talks about your current sales and your current incentives, and come down this weekend and visit the dealership. Or you can go a little bit more higher funnel route and just show off some of the features and benefits of the inventory that you have, or show off some of the features and benefits that are unique to your dealership. Those types of natural engagements are going to get people at one point when they're ready to purchase of, hey, I need to go down and buy a car. Who should I be? They're going to think of you because they've engaged with your brand before. They've seen the funny videos. They see you often enough that the idea is that they'll just go directly to Google, search for your branded name, and skip all of the research and all of the dealers near me related terms, and just go search directly for your name, come to your dealership and purchase. In social, when we move into some of our advanced tactics, we talk about maximizing the impacts of your seasonal campaigns with event-specific advertising. So just as we talked about in the display, featuring that inventory in the ad copy and in the creative, you can do the same thing in Facebook and Instagram and actually feature your actual inventory right there in your ad. We can leverage those same customer match lists, those lookalike audiences, re-engaging those inspiring lessees. And I kind of jumped the gun a little bit here, is that the advanced tactic is use the advertising to generate more engagement, more potential customers here. And then on the aggressive tactics, we can integrate our Facebook ads with a lead form that allows a user to submit a lead right from within Facebook. When they do it, it pre-populates with all their information from their profile. They hit submit, and we can automatically send that into your CRM. And so for people that are looking to take quick action, this might be a great strategy during the holidays. We've seen a lot of success with lead formats. They generate a lot of lead activity into your CRM. And last but not least, a more aggressive tactic here is to run what is called a collection ad, which is going to do a combination of a few things. It's going to feature your actual VIN-specific inventory in the ad copy. And it's also going to feature a static or a static image or a video. And so what you get is you can introduce the holiday theme, you can show them a video, but at the bottom of this ad, you can also feature your inventory. So you kind of get the best of both worlds of introducing a sales event or introducing an incentive while also showing them your actual inventory that you have on the lot. Okay, so as we move into some of our year-end transition recommendations, we know that model years are switching over all of the time. It's not just the end of the year in which things are moving from 2022s to 2023s. So some of the information that we're going to talk about here today is relevant all year round and a strategy that they need to be thinking about as new model years are coming out. So a couple of recommendations that we have is that we're always leveraging dynamic inventory ad technology. And so we're always featuring the pricing, the incentives, the amount of savings off MSRP, because as your inventory changes, as you start to get in new models, you'll be able to, without lifting a finger, advertise that new pricing, the new amount off MSRP, the new quantity that you have in stock. So leverage dynamic inventory wherever you can across all channels. But for the non-dynamic advertising that you have, you're going to have some static copy. Maybe that is, maybe you wrote some ads that were specific to a make model year that weren't leveraging dynamic. Maybe you had a display creative that you were running across the display network or Facebook. It's always wise to go back through and scrub to make sure that, hey, we're not still advertising some of those old model years. We've gotten access to a couple of advertising accounts that the dealer was still running things from 2018, 2019. And because somebody set it up a long time ago, forgot about it and didn't scrub it. So it's always important to know, you talk to your provider, say, hey, are we switched over yet? Have we moved over to 2023? Can we make sure that all old 2022 or even 2021 creative is gone? But when we have a new model year that's coming out, one of the things that we always recommend is developing a dedicated landing page on your website. So there's going to be the OEM announcement that comes out. It says, hey, the new XYZ model is coming out. There's going to be a lot of buzz and a lot of search activity for it. Customers are going to maybe come to your website, try to see if you have that inventory, and you won't have it yet. But if they're interested, you don't want to lose them. What you can do is develop a dedicated landing page that features some information about that new model, leverage some of the OEM assets that are available. But the most important thing is to develop a lead capture on that page. Full form submission. Hey, looking for the new XYZ model, be the first to find out when we get it in inventory. Capture that lead, store that lead information, and as soon as you get those new models onto the lot, you have a list of customers to be reaching out to. In conjunction with that, what you can do is you can start advertising on that new release. So you can develop paid search campaigns. Even if you don't have it on the lot, people are going to be searching for it. You can call out, coming soon, drive them to that landing page and generate net new form submissions. As soon as you get the new model on the lot, we're going to recommend moving away from that landing page and directly to the inventory results, right? So as soon as you see that we got 5 of them, we got 10 of them in on the lot, transition that destination URL and drive them directly to your search results page with that inventory filtered. One other thing that's important is that users are not going to be always familiar with what the new nameplate is called. So they might be going to Google and searching things like new Kia SUV or new electric Ford truck. They're not going to remember exactly what that model name is. And so it's important to make sure that you're advertising on some of these higher funnel, more generic keywords so that you're capturing the maximum amount of traffic that is searching for that new model. And of course, you can supplement all of those efforts with display and Facebook and video if you're really trying to build more awareness in your community and in your market. about the new model that's coming out, there's a number of different tactics that can be deployed across these other mediums. And last but not least, when we move over into SEO, we opposite of what we recommend on the paid search front is to develop a landing page that does not include model years. And the reason for that is you might have a new model year, 2023 XYZ coming out, and it could take the search engines up to months to index that page and to start to get it to show organically. And so instead, what we recommend is developing an evergreen landing page. Leave out the year, make a make model landing page. You can update the content on the page with some of the new features that are available on the new make and model, but leave that model year out of there. And if you do, what will happen is that page will start to gain traffic organically. And so when the next model year comes out, people are going to search, your page is going to be showing above everybody else who's scrambling to make a new make model year page. So it's a little bit different, whereas on the paid side, we definitely want to call out the new 2023 XYZ model. But on the SEO front, we want to write a more generic page that doesn't include that model year. And we're going to build that presence over time, and you'll start to see net new incremental traffic as time goes on, and you'll never have that lag and that dip when that new model year comes out. All right, and that's all the content we have for you today. I said about 25 minutes, went a little bit longer, but I appreciate everybody's time. I know we're getting into the very busy season. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat box here, and or any of my contact information, my email address, phone number, you can reach me direct. We also have a number of helpful resources we're posting constantly on our blog. And if you're interested in understanding how are you doing in your market, how are you performing against the competitors, you can always sign up for a digital marketing analysis from us. We'll take a look at your advertising efforts. Where are you showing at right now? What does your ad copy look like? How are your competitors doing? And where are areas of opportunity for you to grow? I thank you everybody again for all of the time today, and hopefully we look forward to talking to you again shortly in the future.